What's up, guys? Welcome back to another great stream here, and we're going to be talking about the severe weather risk here. It's going to be entering portions of southern Wisconsin, central, eastern, southeast portions of Wisconsin, all the way down into central northern Illinois, and it does extend from noon to at least the late evening hours tomorrow on Wednesday, July 16th. Actually, the severe weather risk does extend all the way as far north, all the way up to Green Bay and Appleton area in Wisconsin, and even could extend further west into portions of western Michigan, but mostly just of a damage and wind risk, maybe a shuff cloud action kind of going through there, but nothing too significant. Basically on the forecast models here show a mesolo or MCV here coming in with maybe an arcing band of storms, but the main tornado potential is going to be out ahead on that northeast or eastern side of that low pressure system right here, where the possible stronger or localized higher tornado threat is going to be probably from southern central Wisconsin into northeast portions of Wisconsin near Appleton and Green Bay, and then on that southwest flank, that arcing line of storms extending into portions of central, northern, and northeast Illinois. There could be damaging winds. Maybe the tornado threat could push into portions of northern, northeast extreme Illinois near Elgin and northward, near Rockford, in some areas right here, but there's still a question mark for that. But I do think right there across that portions of central southern Wisconsin, on that wherever that northeast or eastern quadrant of that low pressure system will have better surface winds back in, like southeasterly or easterly surface winds feeding into the storms will help enhance that little bit of wind shear for the most part. Just kind of jumping into details here and looking at the future forecast models. Let's go ahead and look at Weather Bell here. So here's the Illinois side of things for tomorrow. We'll go ahead and check out the precipitation here and future radar. This is the 18Z NAM coming in right now, so it's almost done updating, and it'll probably pick up a lot more once we're kind of looking at the 12Z run here. So let's go ahead and look at the 12Z run here and compare it to the 18Z run, as there's going to be two different scenarios here, obviously. So here's the 18Z, the 12Z run on the but the NAM 3 kilometer model. It does show some storms here extending all the way down along that moisture boundary, I would say, and it extends all the way into portions of Wisconsin. Now here's the Wisconsin, northern Illinois part of things. So you see the low pressure system, the MCV up there across portions of central eastern portions of Wisconsin extending into northern Illinois, where there is some tornado perimeters sparking in that area. Here's your tornado perimeters at the time. You can see some of those areas are picking up in between 2.8 all the way up to a 5.5. And like I said, it starts as far west, even starting at noon, across portions of southwest Wisconsin with those storms breaking out, and they'll start moving off to the central eastern portions and southeast portions of Wisconsin, northern Illinois, northeast Illinois, and kind of that perimeters die out for the most part, and then everything kind of vanishes. So your prime time for stuff is probably going to be 1 p.m. all the way till 8 p.m. Between northern Illinois and south central Wisconsin. And that's why kind of we're looking at the time frame here for possible significant tornado perimeters here across the area. Here's your supercell composite here across the area as well. Same thing, basically from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. it kind of starts here across southwest portions of Wisconsin and then moves off to the east. So you can see that the convection here across the area. Here's your wind shear across the area as well. Up here you can see wind shear is pretty decently weak to modest and locally strong in some areas further north, where the NAM 3 kilometer model is picking up on 50 to 54 knots of bulk shear, and down into northern Illinois is only 22 to maybe 30 knots. And then we go ahead and look at the future radar here. You can see the storms move off to the east and then done. So they start up across portions of southwest Wisconsin and then move in across portions of Wisconsin, and then into western Michigan. But a few of those could be actual dominant supercell thunderstorms for the most part. Let's see on here if everything is actually updated. See, the placement on the low between the 12Z run, I think the 12Z run could be a fluke. It's a little bit really far north. Where all previous runs were a little bit more further south, but 18Z run on the NAM is coming in a little bit more further south. Further south meaning more violent and stronger tornadic supercells maybe with the event. So, and these have it starting like around noon across portions of central and northeast and eastern Iowa. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this event unfolds going into the next overnight tonight, and then waking up in the morning to see how the perimeter spaces and everything's doing. This is saying that would be a very strong, potent MCV or MCS. I mean MCV moving in through the area. The NAM 3KM is picking up on really decently strong 850 millibar jet core pushing the front behind, and 700 millibar jet core, 500 pretty much really nice intact there. So the trough ejection, not trough ejection, but the injection of the stronger mid-level and low-level winds are kind of ejecting at the same time with the system and kind of help enhancing those storms. So the potential for damaging winds and tornadoes seem pretty potent with this setup tomorrow. So it can go either way with being a strong enough system that it's actually going to do this, or it doesn't. So a few of these could be dominant supercells within that line. And that stuff is just cranking and pushing off to the east. I think everything's definitely increasing at the last second here on the forecast models, so it should be very interesting to see how this does actually become an outcome on things. And you can see the helicity tracks actually come out of portions of eastern Iowa and then track eastward into northern Illinois, and that's the latest NAM model update, the 18Z that's currently updating right now. So I think tomorrow is definitely a good chance of seeing a, if the NAM model is right on tomorrow's setup, then we could actually definitely see the potential of some very strong storms tomorrow across portions of northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. We can see these guys are pushing in right into portions of northern northwest Illinois at 5 p.m. with the potential of damaging winds, maybe some tornadoes with those, and hail. But you can see the surface winds and the low up there. All those winds are pulling into it, southeasterly, easterly surface winds, so that's an enhance your low-level wind shear and the rotation on those storms, and then therefore you possibly get tornadoes. But those helicity tracks mean business. And you see how that bows out and that becomes like a mesolower, that's the MCV there. So that bows out and becomes a damaging wind event, and then coming in across portions of northern Illinois. So it's going to be either southern Wisconsin or northern Illinois tomorrow. That's what the game plan is for tomorrow's event. you see that bows out and it starts making its way towards the Chicagoland area still. And it's a cool pull right there as well with it, so that could be definitely a really strong bowing system for gusty winds. But that's all there is on this update. Basically, the severe weather coming into portions of northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin tomorrow. Damaging winds, possible tornadoes and hail, flood and rain. And we'll have more updates later on tonight into tomorrow, obviously, so stay tuned.